Well, there's a battle brewing in Texas, more specifically in the world of fast food. Maybe you picked up some takeout for the family. Tonight, we are talking about the battle of Big Taco. It's all laid out in an article by our media partners at Texas Monthly. Let's get to Tom Foster. He's the author of this piece, and he's joining us tonight to talk a little bit more about this. So, Tom, in your article, you point out the idea of fast food, that it's expanded beyond the assembly line of pre-cooked ingredients. Taco Bell thrived on that system. We know that. How have restaurants changed in the realm of fast food, and how has it hurt Taco Bell, you think?
It's a really great question. The short answer with Taco Bell is that I don't know that it has hurt them all that much. What happened over the last couple of decades is something called fast casual came about, which was sort of using fresher ingredients, preparing them on site. And, you know, it's still essentially fast food, maybe not quite as fast, but pretty close. But the bigger thing that happened is, you know, if you go back to when Taco Bell started, tacos were still kind of exotic back then. It started not long after McDonald's, but burgers were really mainstream. The two of them grew at the same time. Taco Bell owned this huge market. And in more recent years, you know, tacos have gone totally mainstream, and so guys like Velvet Taco and Torchy's can come along and really grow the market overall, and honestly not adversely affect Taco Bell, but probably help them by growing the overall market.
Yeah, and those are two that are very popular around here, that's for sure, Tom. So two Texas taco chains, of course, that have a rivalry, and one of them based right here in the DFW area. So talk a little bit more about Velvet Taco. Why has Velvet Taco and Torchy's Tacos been able to take hold, you think, in the fast food arena? And do they have a game plan, you know, to expand in the future?
They sure do. Well, they have a lot of money, for one thing. They both have very deep-pocketed investors, private equity firms who are, you know, funding their growth. They both think they can, you know, get to 1,500 locations all around the country. They're both in multiple states. So they have a plan to grow really fast. But to your question about why and how have they taken hold, they both had a really similar insight, which is that you know, tacos for a long time had stayed in this fairly narrow Mexican-American lane, which makes sense. That's where they came from. Even Taco Bell largely stays in that lane, as creative and sort of fun as they get with, you know, Doritos tacos and things like that. But what these guys realized is that a taco is sort of a blank canvas, and you can do all kinds of things with it in the same way you can a sandwich. And, you know, so it raises some interesting questions. You know, you mentioned Velvet Taco. Their best-selling taco is the chicken tikka taco. So, like, it has a tortilla, that's traditional, but beyond that, it's like Indian food inside. They have a chicken and waffles taco. That's like they replace the tortilla with a waffle. And at a certain point, it's you know, it raises the question of, like, well, what is a taco?
Yeah, I've had the chicken tikka, by the way. That is very good stuff. The
it's
menus,
delicious, yeah.
It's good. The menus, they're obviously not traditional tacos. Company leadership isn't generally associated with the Latin community. Can you talk about what you have personally found when it comes to researching these types of chains in fast food? I mean, do they do well?
They do. I'll tell you one thing that's really interesting that jumps out as you start looking at these chains and sort of the opportunity that companies like Torchy's and Velvet Taco are facing. If you go back to the founder, Glenn Bell, the founder of Taco Bell, if you look at the founder of Taco Cabana in San Antonio, back when that company started, Taco Bueno, Taco Casa, Fuzzy's Taco, Torchy's, all of these guys, Velvet Taco, the founders are not Mexican-American. They're not even Latino. They're guys who look like me. They're middle-aged white guys, which raises some really, really interesting questions. There's, you know, nothing to say that somebody who looks like me shouldn't start a taco shop and do creative things with tacos. That's pretty cool. But it's an interesting question why nobody has built a large taco brand, large taco chain who is Mexican-American. And I think the answer comes back to something we talked about earlier, which is access to capital. The guys who are building these big brands have deep pockets, or they have deep-pocketed investors. And if you start poking around there, you start to realize why, you know, certain people have access to that capital and certain don't.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the bottom line here is that there are plenty of delicious taco options everywhere throughout the state here in Texas, for sure. All right, thanks to Tom Foster now for joining us tonight for this look at Big Taco, as we're calling it. Of course, you can read his full article, The Battle of Big Taco. Right now, it's on TexasMonthly.com.